A Venezuelan judge has issued an arrest warrant for the opponent of President Nicolas Maduro in July's disputed election. The warrant was issued at the request of authorities who accuse Edmundo Gonzalez of various crimes, including conspiracy, falsifying documents, and usurpation of power. Ruling party loyal electoral authorities declared President Maduro the victor without publishing the results broken down by voting machine. The arrest warrant follows the U.S. government seizing a luxury jet used by Mr. Maduro, saying the plane's purchase violates sanctions and export control laws. The Dissident Project's founder, Daniel Martino, joined us for his reaction to the warrant.
I expect the Maduro regime to arrest every single opposition person or force them into exile, because that's what they have been doing for 25 years. I mean, remember, this is a regime that's been in power for 25 years that has arrested multiple people, put them for many years in jail, released them, put them back in jail. They have cheated on elections. They have killed hundreds of protesters. They have killed thousands of people in arbitrary killings because they oppose the regime. And they send armed gangs to people's homes to kidnap them just because they were election witnesses. So unfortunately, I wish I could say I was shocked by the fact that they ordered the arrest of Edmundo Gonzalez. And by the way, it was not a judge. It was one of the prosecutors in the Ministry of Justice that they have. It is not a real government. A lot of people tend to treat the Maduro regime as if it was, this is just a dictator that's in charge of a government, when in reality, this is a whole structure that is just of criminals. All of them, including members of the Supreme Court, are criminals that used to be criminals before the regime came into power and had been in jail. We are talking about a terrorist organization, a narco-trafficking organization, according to the Department of Justice of the US. It's like the Taliban. Are the Taliban the government of Afghanistan? Well, they're certainly the rulers, but they're not a legitimate government, and they only create a farce of legitimacy around them. I think what people should know about the Maduro regime most in a liberal democracy is that this can happen to you. It can happen to you because Venezuela used to be a liberal democracy 25 years ago. Venezuela used to be the richest country in Latin America. Venezuela, even earlier in the 50s, was the fourth richest country in the world. And people voted for this. This is the first democratically socialist experiment in history that has, coalesced itself in power after that. And it did so because they entered democratically, but then they don't leave democratically. They begin cheating in the elections. They begin using the government power to bribe people. So it begins in a way that they bribe you to vote for them. They give you things in exchange, right? Everything's free. Then when socialism runs out of money, even in an oil-producing nation, then they begin the actual fraudulent tactics, right? And then they begin repressing the opposition. And then they begin changing the constitution and doing everything that they need in order to remain in power. And so that's the danger of socialism. It's that a lot of us were being told that we just need the government to give us this for free. And we just need to give up more freedom and more freedom. And yes, your income is part of your freedom. It's part of your property. And no, you should not be giving more things up to the government. It's really a risk that you take.